Okay, today we're talking about the Italian tubular cast-on. This is a wonderful cast-on for 1x1 rib to give that lovely rolled edge that a tubular cast-on will give without the fuss of the more traditional tubular cast-on. You've got a little bit of a tail here, not as long as though you're doing a long-tailed cast-on. The yarn in your left hand goes to your working yarn. The yarn in your right hand is your tail. It's really very simple. The left yarn does one thing and one thing only, and that is it goes over the top of the needle from left to right and then returns back over here to the bottom left. Your yarn in your right hand works like the hand on a metronome. It goes first over to the left and go over with your left yarn. Now back to the right with your right yarn. Over with your left yarn. Come over here. Over with your left yarn, come back to the right. And you'll repeat these two movements until you have the number of stitches that you require. Now I've seen it written that you always have to do this with an even number of stitches. That is simply not true because I've cheated. I've used an odd number of stitches and it works just fine and dandy. I'm not going to cast on a lot right now because I want to show you what you're going to do with your first two rows as you begin to knit. Now if you look at your stitches on your needle, see how they look like purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. What you want to do as you work your first two rows is to knit your knits and purl your purls. Or, I'm sorry, don't purl your purls. You're going to slip your purls with the yarn in front. So knit, bring your yarn to the front and slip, knit, slip, knit, slip, and continue this way across your row. Turn to work your second row. You're going to do exactly the same thing. If it looks like a knit stitch, knit it. If it looks like a purl stitch, bring your yarn to the front and slip it. Come on, you little devil. Okay. As I said before, it's tricky doing this because I have the camera between me and the knitting, and my arm's about 3 feet out in midair to get far enough away from the camera so that the camera will focus on them. Okay, so you've finished your two rows. It looks pretty darn funky, but what you're going to do next is you're going to knit a few rows in 1x1 rib. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back and show you what you do next and how that looks when you're finished.